Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a portfolio breakdown where I'll be sharing the ETFs and stocks that I currently own. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. As you can see from the pie chart, I currently hold 9 different stocks and ETFs. In this video I'll tell you a little bit about them, plus the yield and my current allocation to each. My largest holding at the moment is VDY. It currently makes up over just 23% of my portfolio. This ETF pays a good dividend each month and has a yield of around 4.2%. The Canadian High Dividend Yield Index's top 5 holdings are RBC, TD Bank, Enbridge, Bank of Montreal, and Canadian Natural Resources Ltd. I am very happy with my allocation to this ETF and plan on adding more consistently. My second largest holding is SCHD, which is the ETF that tracks the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index. Similar to VDY, this ETF also focuses on high dividend paying companies but based in the US. I like this ETF because it has a good mix of large, well-established and mid-sized companies with growth potential. It makes up around 23% of my holdings and pays a quarterly dividend with a yield of 3.45%. The top 5 holdings of this ETF are Broadcom, Verizon, Cisco, Merck & Co., and Texas Instrument. Up next, the stock I own is AQN, which is a renewable energy company. As the world shifts towards cleaner energy solutions, I believe AQN has a lot for potential growth. I also like that the company has a diverse portfolio of assets across North America and South America. They have a pretty high dividend yield, so I wouldn't be overly shocked if we saw another cut in the yield, as it isn't sustainable for the long term in my opinion. They make up around 14% of my portfolio, pays a quarterly dividend yielding at 9.2% right now. Next up is VRE, which is another Canadian ETF that holds different REITs. This ETF provides exposure to a diverse portfolio of Canadian real estate investment trusts. I like this because it provides exposure to the Canadian real estate market without owning any physical property. This ETF makes up just shy of 10% of my holdings and so far has been my best performing stock of the year. It has a yield of 4.2%, paying monthly, and the top 5 holdings of this ETF is Canadian Apartment Properties REIT, First Services, RioCan, Granite, and Coilers International Group. Another ETF I own is VFV, which tracks the S&P 500 index. This ETF provides exposure to a broad range of large cap US companies and is a good way to get exposure to the US market as a whole. Making up 9.5% of my portfolio, paying a quarterly dividend, the top 5 holdings of this ETF are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet Class A, and Berkshire Hathaway Class B. Up next is VCN, which is the ETF that holds RBC, TD Bank, Enbridge, Canadian Pacific Railways, and Canadian National Railway as the top 5 holdings. This ETF provides exposure to a diverse portfolio of Canadian companies across all sectors and market caps, making up 8.5% of my total holding. They pay a quarterly dividend with a yield of 2.95%. VEE is another ETF I own, which tracks emerging markets. This ETF provides exposure to a diverse portfolio of emerging market companies with a focus on China. They pay a yield of 3.15%, make up around 8% of my holdings, and the top 5 stocks they hold are the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturer, Tencent Holdings, Alibaba Group, Meituan Dianping Class B, and Reliance Industries. Moving down the list, I also own BN. Brookfield Corporation is an alternative asset manager real estate investment management firm that focuses on real estate, renewable power, infrastructure, and venture capital plus private equity assets. They are a smaller but new holding of mine, paying a quarterly dividend with a yield of 0.82%. I have a great feeling for the long term with this company. Finally, I own ENGH. Inchhouse Systems Limited is a publicly traded Canadian-based software and service company that pays a quarterly dividend with a yield of 1.76%. Like BN, they are a new position of mine, so as of now my holdings are pretty small. I have plans to increase them within the near future. So that wraps up my portfolio review. As always, please keep in mind that those are my personal opinions and I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research before making any investment decisions. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts or questions about my portfolio. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.